This video is going to show a solo flawless legend 0 hour on a hunter, the last class that I need to run this on. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll get into the loadouts, etc. This was the solo rotation of 0 hour, which is important to know for the run itself, for the floor puzzles and etc. So loadouts, I used various loadouts. I'm going to go through it with you now briefly. I'm not going to go in depth too much. This is just briefly. So we are using Golden Gun Marksman Celestial Nighthawk with Galahorn, Indebted Kindness and a bow. That's up until after the first tank is killed. We then swap to a Strand Hunter with Stompies. The Stompies element's very important to the run. So that's very important to how I do it. So we've got that on as well. We then swap again just before the final bosses to yet again Celestial Nighthawk Golden Gun with fixed odds, Polaris Lance and Mountaintop. We then swap again when tanks spawn in, for obvious reasons, with Dragon's Breath, keep a Mountaintop on, with a Solar Scout Rifle, with yet again Nighthawk and a Golden Gun. There'll be more information about all this stuff in the run, but those are all the loadouts that I used. So as we start with the 0 hour run, make sure you load in with a triple solar reserve chestplate. This will increase the amount of ammo you get for Galahorn as you start. Then swap back to your resistance plate. This will give us 12 rockets. If you're going to follow this strategy, if you're going to follow this video, you need to do that trick. Because it's essential for the Galahorn trick, because you wouldn't get as many rockets if you didn't do this. So this is how this first 3 areas is going to go, and pay close attention. So, healer nade, 2 rockets in mid. Right, then we're going to marksman's dodge reload, then we're going to get another 2 rockets. So essentially we're spending 4 rockets, that is our limit. Then the rest of the adds is a cleanup with Indebted Kindness. We would have cleared that first area super quick if it wasn't for that captain being one shot, but we would have been finished at 20:05 there. So the Galahorn strat's really quick, honestly. Right, so then again we're going to obviously reload galley, make sure it is. Then what we're going to do is rocket the first 2 groups of shanks, right and left. We're then going to get a healer nade down, another marksman's dodge, and then rocket the heavy shank at the back, and then a rocket in middle. Right, then you're going to save rockets from here on out, and then use Indebted Kindness on the heavy shank and the free snipers. Right, this Indebted Kindness has the deconstruct. Not to say that you absolutely need it, but it is nice in this because of the buff to vehicles. We're then going to debuff the brig, then 2 Galahorn shots, and then all Indebted Kindness ammo. Right, like so. There's a sniper still up at the back, which I'm going to have to deal with him because he's giving me problems. That's it. Dealt with the sniper. Now we'll just spam the ammo on the brig with Indebted Kindness. If you don't have a deconstruct Indebted Kindness, right, then try out the role that you have, whether it be vault shot, surrounded, or whatever it might be. If that doesn't work well for you on the brigs, because I don't know how that's going to work, then try a sniper out then instead. Try a sniper, a supremacy kinetic tremor sniper instead, or maybe just even mountaintop, because mountaintop's really good on the brigs and stuff. Up to you, really. So the next area we're going to take out some of the snipers. The reason why I like to do this is that it's not as much of a cluster if you do it like this, because none of the ads are aggroed on us yet. It gives me a good chance to take out most of the ranged enemies, because once all the ranged enemies are dealt with, we can just go into the next area and not worry about having to clean up any extra ads, because we can't skip any of them. And if you do, and you go to the Fallen Door, and there's a 1 random add up, then you're kind of screwed. You've lost time. And you don't want any time loss at all. We'll get 2 Galahorn shots in here, then, again, clean up with the Indebted Kindness. That's what this weapon's on for. It's for clean up kill after Galahorn ammo is finished. Right? We're then going to clean up, obviously, any other adds, and then it's tank damage. Your goal is to debuff tank and get Radiant. Debuff tank, get Radiant, because that's stacked with Golden Gun, of course. Then we'll one-shot tank. Boom, done. Then we're going to use Indebted Kindness on the rest of the servitors, and then that's this area done. Right, after tank is dead, you want to pay attention to your time. Just have a glance at your time. If it's above 17 minutes, then you're doing okay. If it's less than 17 minutes, like if it's 16:30 or 16 minutes, then you haven't done everything quick enough. Right, just after tank is dead. That is a reference point. There's times in the run where you want to pay attention to your timer, but don't keep an eye on it the entire time. This will just make you anxious. This is a big thing, and it will affect your composure. Seriously, while you're running 0 hour on a Slow Forest Legend, if you keep an eye on the time the entire time, this will affect your gameplay. Don't look at it too much. Just look at it occasionally. Like, there's times that you look at it. So I look at it after first tank is dead, when I've finished the traversal, and when I get to the farm boss. We've now switched to Stompies on a Strand Hunter with Eager Edge. It's important that you do this because you want to speed up the jumping parts as quickly as possible. It's important that you get to the boss fight as quickly as you can, because the more time you have for the boss fight, the less panicked or the less rushed that you'll feel. If you get to the boss at 7 minutes, like what I've been doing all week, you're going to feel a little bit more rushed than what you should be. So you should try to aim to get to the boss fight for 9 or 8 minutes at least. This will give you enough time to do everything at the boss fight without feeling panicked or rushed, and you're less likely to make mistakes if this happens. And all you need to do is just, as I say, go into traversal mode. So now you're like, you've come out of the ads. You're not thinking about ads now. You're just thinking about getting through this as quickly as possible. Stompies is very important. So for hunter mains that are trying to do this and you still can't do it, make sure that you try these strats with the Strand, with the grapple, and the Stompies, because Stompies saves you time. This is the next time save. So we would usually go left, we're going to go right. Pay attention to this. There's another way of doing this, but I like to do it like this, okay? This is just what I like to do. We're going to drop down here, and then we're going to drop down again to activate one of the switches. Now, this is technically the wrong switch. Well, no, it's not. It's one of the switches that opens the hatch. But it doesn't raise the floor hatch thing, right? This here. But we can make the jump without it with Stompies. Look. So did you see that? Now, mobility will help out with that. I rocked a T10 mobility, and it helped me out in that. On getting that jump, because it's quite a difficult jump. Mobility increases jump height. There's no myth surrounding that. It increases jump height and always has done. Okay, now we're going to do some skip here with Eager Edge plus grapple. It works out well enough. Sword tracking though is a nightmare here. I'm a sniper's nightmare at this minute. Look at this. That was annoying. So we lost 5 seconds because of that. Probably. This is literally how we're micromanaging every single thing. Is like any slight error, like input error, even slightly, will lose you 5 seconds. It might not seem it on this run, but if you were to watch another run side by side, you would see the time differences. So it's really that important to you. I don't want to make you anxious running the jump puzzle when I'm telling you this, but it really does. So you've got to really focus on your jumps. But yeah, Hunter Main Stompies is going to help you out massively. I found the Traversal to be hardest personally on a Hunter. Maybe because Hunter's my least played class, probably. People often say this to me, what class do I main? I don't main any class. I play all three. I've exercised this idea for a long time now. Ever since D2 launched, I've played all three. But if I was to give you like a percentage split, it would be Titan and Warlock at exactly the same amount of play time, just about. And Hunter slightly less, maybe 10% less than the other two, maybe 15% less. Like sort of my play time with the Hunter. Not to say that I'm bad on a Hunter, I'm certainly not. I know everything about the Hunter, but yeah, like I said, I found that the Hunter was maybe the most annoying for Traversal. Like, I loved the Titan for Traversal. The Warlock was good with Icarus Dash. And obviously you could use Heat Rises, etc., but yeah. I hadn't run anything on the Hunter with 0 hour until obviously today, so maybe that's why. So we're just going to jump down the fan section, like so. The Exploder Shanks won't kill you as long as you got concussive dampen on. So we're going to skip again as well here. So we'll do 2 jumps, an eager edge, sword swing, plus a grapple. This will make across this gap here. We'll do another eager edge to make sure we make this area here. This speeds things up a little bit as well. So now it's Trevor. This will be the next time I'll check the time, like for reference. So if I get to Trevor for 11 minutes, then I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay in the run. I'm not doing the absolute most premium best that I could do. I could probably get to Trevor for 12 minutes. But like I said, we're doing fine. This run's good. We're ahead of our time curve, generally speaking. Now you can actually beat Trevor. So there's a slight time gain there as well if you want to try and beat Trevor before he goes past. I don't recommend this. Even though you are going to get a time gain, don't worry about it. The time gain for doing it is going to be like a 10-second time save. I don't recommend it. Just do the rotation I'm showing you. That's for expert advanced players who don't need this video, so don't worry about it. We've done a lot of optimizations anyways, so for the sake of a 10-second time save, don't worry about trying to beat Trevor. You can, and I have done it, but the rotation of Trevor's slightly different because you're ahead of his curve. Don't worry about it. Just do it like this. You will never see Trevor in this rotation. We'll just activate all the 4 switches, like so. We're obviously going to keep the strand on because we're going to do another shackle at the elevator phase, where we activate the elevator and stuff. So we'll activate the last switch. So obviously, because it's solar rotation, the 0 hour, the puzzle is going to be solar. So whether it's solar, void, or arc, right? There's 3 different. There's Trevor there. Look, there's 3 puzzles for legend and 3 puzzles for normal. 6 total. So whenever you're running 0 hour, it depends on when you're watching this video. You could be watching it a day after it's that I've posted it. Check which fret it is, and I'll probably link down below because now all the puzzles are revealed. There's a Reddit post telling you all the puzzles and showing you it. So I'll probably will link that post if I can find it again down in the description, because now we've got all the puzzles. We're not stressed about the puzzle, because if you ran this in the first 3 days, if there was a new puzzle, people were like, "Oh, what's the new floor puzzle? What's the new floor puzzle?" They're all discovered now, and there ain't going to be any new ones. So that should be it. So here's the solar rotation. Again, I'll link it down below. All the floor puzzles are all discovered now. I was just looking at my phone here. That's why I was going a little slower, because this was the first time I'd done the solar puzzle. Right, so let's look at time reference. Just below 9 minutes. So we're probably 20 to 30 seconds slower than what I would like, but we're good, because it's on Solar Hunter. The Solar Hunter's really good for the final section. So we're going to do a surge switch, right, like so. So we've done our surge switch, not surge switch, loadout switch, should I say. And then we're going to get a healing aid down as soon as, and then start killing some of these ads. Obviously, it's Polaris Lance, fixed odds, mountaintop. So rather than do any damage, don't do any damage to the boss at all. If you do even a sliver, it will spawn in the servitor. What I want you to focus, this damn vandal is costing us time because he's hiding behind a turret. We want to kill out most of the ads in this area. The initial spawn, kill them, right? Don't worry about using machine gun. Use a bit of it. We'll get a debuff on the boss, then a golden gun. This will do over 1/3 damage to the boss, or just about 1/3, right? Then we're going to go underneath and then start working on some of the shanks with the LMG. On this side, I want you to focus on, right? Then obviously there's a servitor in front. That's what we're going to focus first. And there's a servitor behind us. But if we stand in this location, although the boss is still behind us, so we'll get rid of the boss. I thought the boss had actually been sent for. Now he's gone, look. See how he's went and rotated to the other side of the map? That's good. So we'll take some of these shanks out because they're not tethered. That's good. But ultimately, we want to create a safe zone if we can. So any ads that are hitting us, try and take them out. But obviously, we're going to focus damage with Polaris on the servitor here. So obviously, this is different how I've done it on the Titan and the Hunter, on the Warlock. Sorry. The difference is that I'm using Polaris, which I initially said at the start of the week is too slow. That's not true. What's slow about Polaris is if you use it on the tanks. It's not slow killing servitors and it's not slow on the brig, but it is slow at killing tanks. That's why we switch on to Dragon's Breath when we need it and then switch off it. Because our machine gun holds 300 bullets or whatever it is right now, what I've got on my ammo. When I swap off that to Dragon's Breath, I'm going to get 3 or 4 shots. I only need 2. Maybe 3, because sometimes Dragon's Breath does not one-shot the tanks. And it's not based on whether you have ×5 or not. It just sometimes doesn't flat out do it, because I've hit both tanks sometimes with ×5 Dragon's Breath. Doesn't always. What you want to do is try to make sure that you do have Radiant. Try to have the ×5, but don't worry about it. Sometimes I've one-shot a tank with ×1 Dragon's Breath. The buff that it gets. So it's not always based on that. The servitor in mid's still alive, but we're going to push up a little bit and finish off that servitor. So your next golden gun is right now. There are 3 critical hit golden guns that you want to hit. I've hit my first one. This is second one. Right, so we're going to kill these shanks here. But I didn't realise a mine set off, and we end up getting flinched here. So look at this, look at that. I didn't realise. So look, we end up missing our golden gun. The reason why we miss it is because of flinch. We get flinched and the mine set off. So this is the only part of the run that I wasn't happy about, because this cost me probably 30 seconds. I would say only about 30 seconds. Not much longer than that, because we're still on a decent time, but yeah, that was unfortunate. Honestly, it's because of the mine and it's because of flinch. Like I said to you before, on console, you receive a lot more flinch. But to be honest, that was my fault. Let's not blame the game. Sometimes, you know, people do blame the game when it's the player's fault, and that was actually kind of my fault. I should have been a bit more patient with the trap and let the area go away. Right, the arc stuff on my screen, you know, etc, etc. But anyways, we've sent the boss away, so it's no big deal. Look, it hasn't really cost us much time, and if anything, we've actually got our next super back almost, which is good. So we're going to do our switch to Dragon's Breath. Make sure that you're Radiant when you do it. It'll one-shot both tanks. Like I say, more likely will, because you'll do more damage. Then we're going to swap back to Polaris, because Dragon's Breath's amazing in the game. We know it is, but it's not that good on the main brig, and it's as I say, it's good on servers. It is, but Polaris is really good for the brig, and Mountaintop does the work for you. Like, so what you want to do now is try and focus the servitor with Polaris. You want to farm a bit of super energy, yeah, and you're going to kill the brig quickly. See, the advantage to Hunter over Warlock and Titan is the damage is instant. So, on a moment-to-moment basis, think about it. So, if you pop a Dawn Chorus Warlock, the time it takes you to get that damage out is like 10 to 15 seconds longer than what a Golden Gun is, because Golden Gun damage is instant. Snap of a finger, done. Titan, slower. Even with Pyrogill, still slower. Synthocept spin to win method that I used, really good, but still it's slower. Whereas like for the brig, the Hunter's really good. So try and be Radiant as well. And now what you want to focus on is this. Forget about the ads, get the servitor of course, but now you want to try and hit your mountaintop shots while Radiant. Hip fire your mountaintop, right, if you want, or ADS, it's up to you, but make sure you hit your shots. Look at the damage. So we're doing increased damage because we're Radiant. This is a Vorpal mountaintop, by the way. By the way, I have Frenzy and a Vorpal roll. The reason why I'm using this one is because it has lead from gold. And I thought maybe lead from gold would help me out in the run. I can't say if it did or not, because I didn't pick up that much ammo, so probably not. I might go back to my frenzy roll next time I do this, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't impact it really, because as I say, we're hitting our mountaintop shots. So your goal is to take the faceplate off that brig, then get radiant. Don't worry about debuff, because throwing your knife right now is no big deal. Don't worry about it. Just be radiant and hit your golden gun shot. That will almost wipe out the tank, just about. And then the tank's a clean-up kill with Polaris. We're 1 minute 30. Now it's just adds. We're still radiant, so I'm just going to keep Polaris on. There's a lot of solar shielded shanks, so we can deal with them. So that's the run done. Alright, now it's just a clean-up with all the rest of the ads. There will be plenty of them, though, because we haven't done much ad clear, so the run's not over yet. There's still a little bit to do, but like I say, because the shanks are solar, it's fine to use Polaris. I was using Le Monarch on the last 2 runs, which you don't need to do that. That was just me panicking on those runs. This run was more condensed. It was a bit more structured. The only thing, like I say, the biggest thing was that I missed my golden gun shot on that second one. Again, it was because I was stunned by that. I was literally flashbanged. What do you want me to do? I was literally flashbanged by that trap mine. I should have been more patient. But there's a heavy brick here. We'll dodge reload, get that. That's fine. All the ads are killed. Even if we didn't have that heavy brick, we would have still done this. But that was a Solar Flawless Legend for Hunter. There'll be more interesting things that I want to do with Zero. And now that I've done a Solar Flawless Legend on all 3 classes, now I want to explore other things with this mission. And maybe, do something else in the game as well this week. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.